What's up, everybody? Sparkle Dump here. I wanted to show you guys my garage. Now, I am going to be moving my eBay operation from my basement up here into my garage. The reason being is that the basement's getting really cluttered and my quote-unquote office is down there. So it's where I will do my eBay business with my computer, my when I work from home, I do stuff down there. And I don't like looking around and seeing like a cluttered basement, and it's actually quite small. So I'm moving everything into our garage, and we moved in a year ago, and the garage was extremely dirty. And I'm gonna turn it around and show you guys what it looks like now, and then I'll show you an after. All right, so this is the garage as it currently exists. And believe it or not, this is a vast improvement over what it was about a week and a half ago. This was just an insane mess. And it looks like that now, but it truly is way better than it used to be. I've ordered some shelves off of Amazon, which are gonna be making 99% of this really clear up. But a lot of this stuff here, so my brother passed away in May in a car accident, and he ran his own eBay business. And my wife and I went up to Michigan the week before Thanksgiving, and we picked up a bunch of his stuff from a storage unit. And a lot of that stuff we picked up were tools, a lot of eBay supplies. Here you can see a bunch of tape. Right here, he's got like a digital scale that plugs in your computer that will automatically read what the weight is. We've got a label printer here. A bunch of shipping stuff for my work. So anytime someone at work orders something off Amazon, I just collect all the puffy bags. I've got another 2 boxes of these in the basement, so I'm never gonna have to pay for that, which is really, really cool. These here are the, I'm selling these right now on Facebook Marketplace. If you remember from an earlier video this year, I picked these up at Goodwill for I think $2 a piece. And I've been selling them for 10 to 15 right now in the Christmas season. And then, you know, just trying to maximize space, hanging the bike up there, hanging the hammock right here, which is not its permanent spot. I'm actually gonna build a real tool wall. But this is all the stuff from the basement, all the eBay stuff that's just kind of been sitting in boxes and containers. So every time I need to list something, I need to dig through these boxes to find it, which is not at all time saving. It's the opposite of whatever time saving is, time wasting, I guess. And then here we've got some random stuff. This box here is filled with camera parts and cameras from my brother's storage unit. This is my brother's personal stuff, more cameras and things. This is all paint from the basement when the basement flooded last week. So I'm actually gonna put this down here in this old vanity. And then over here is a bunch of storage boxes. So my plan is, and then here is another table temporarily set up with a bunch of shoes on it and things like that that are gonna be sold. What I'm going to do is, if you can picture it right now, is I'm going to have the big photo box right here. To the far left will be new items that come in that need to be photographed. I'll photograph them. I'll set them here. I'm going to have a laptop stand here with on the table, my laptop, so I can do photo editing. I'll have the thermal printer for shipping. And then over here will be all of my storage for shipping. So all my boxes and bags and whatnot. So it'll be a one fell swoop, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, ship. If I don't have enough room, I might put the table and all the shipping stuff over here against this wall once that is done. But for now, the plan is for it to go here. I forgot what I was gonna tell you guys next, but basically I'm just gonna show you guys when the garage is all done in a couple weeks. I'll just splice this with the magic of editing and show y'all what the garage looks like when it's all said and done. Everybody, what's going on? It's your Spark Boy Dump. Wanted to show you the garage after. So I showed you a video of the garage before, and this is the garage after. So I'm gonna do a sweeping panoramic, and then I'm going to go into detail about what every section is and the workflow here. So you can see all of the organization that I've got going on here. Now this took me 2 months worth of kind of constant work on the weekends with some breaks to actually photograph and ship things and post things on eBay. But for the most part, everything is done. And I'm really proud of how it looks. I had everything in the basement. Let me turn this. For the whole year before, I guess last year and a half, the eBay station's been in the basement, and the basement's really small. It's about the same size as the garage, but there's a staircase in the middle, so it's really hard to make room to do anything. It felt really compressed and what's the word when people are scared to be in tight places? I'm gonna think of it after this video. I'll put the text over to the left. But claustrophobic. Ha! Got it. So it felt really claustrophobic and kind of insane down there. So I decided to, we weren't using the garage for anything other than to store the lawnmower and lawn equipment and things like that. So I made it my mission to transform the garage into like this really good eBay station auctioning resale workflow. So let me walk you through what I got. Okay, here's the door to the garage. In the top left, you guys have already seen this here. This is my space heater, 120 volt space heater for the garage. I'm gonna end up moving this closer to my workstation so that it gets warmer in here faster. I've got some lawn equipment over here to the left. So I've got like the wheelbarrow, some dirt, the lawnmower. Here's the barbecue. This rug, I don't know what to do with, that my wife still wants. So it's kind of right there. It's so freaking heavy. Got the shop vac, cooler, a couple things. This area right here is just, it's so far away from everything, I'm not even worried about it. It's kind of just, I've relocated miscellaneous yard tools and things to there. And then once you walk in, you turn to your left, you've got this table filled with auction items that need to be photographed. So up top here, we've just got a bunch of miscellaneous things. We've got this vintage Betsy Wetsy doll. When I bought this at auction, I had no idea it was this big. I thought it was gonna be like a 12-inch tall doll. No, well, maybe it is. The swing set might be what it is, what making it big. But you just look through all this inventory here, and this is all stuff that I need to photograph, research, and list. This tub here, this plastic bin, is filled with old film reels and some old cameras. This is stacked precariously, but these are telephone sets that are gonna sell really, really well. There's some Hot Wheels down there. There's a new AT&T phone. And then if you look up here behind the table is a wall rack with all my yard tools. So my other goal, once I get all of this eBay photographed, I don't think I'll ever have this much of a back stock again. So I might be able to utilize some room on this table, or just keep it clear so that we have easy access to the tools. But here's like all my yard tools and construction tools. Here's the hammock kind of hanging right there, which is a really weird place for it, but it's efficient, I guess. And there's a cabinet filled with cleaning supplies and spray paint and, you know, other kind of stuff. Here's the bike, the ladder. I've put all the big stuff like up against the walls. Back to over here, there's a bunch of digital cameras in there that I think I'm gonna sell as a lot. Here's that box of clothes and Care Bears I did an unveiling, like an unboxing a little while ago. And then over here, so this is how the workflow goes. So here are the items to photograph. I set them over here when I'm ready to photograph them. And there's my camera and some different backdrops for the light box. And you can see like up next on deck are these Legos and this lot of old vintage auto parts. And then you come over here, and this is the light box that I most often shoot in. And I'll give you a look inside here. This is what it looks like. It's got plenty of room. You can see scale-wise, it's pretty friggin' large. I can shoot lots of things in there. So that's that. And then once that's done, I'll set the objects once they're photographed right here. And then once it's time to ship, this is my shipping area. So here's my computer where I print off all of my labels and do all my research and things like that. Now, honestly, it's so cold this time of year that I do all the photography and then I take the SD card out of the camera and I go downstairs into my basement to my computer where it's warm. And that's where I do the photo retouching, cropping, and I do the research, and I most often do the posting of the auctions. So in the summer, I'll be doing posting of auctions in here, but right now in the winter, it's a no-go because it's so friggin' cold. So photograph, doopy-doo, and then what I do is when I come back in later, once an auction is sold, this is where I pull the labels up on my computer, which you guys have seen. I weigh it, And then over here in the corner, I've got a scanner for when I'm selling like old prints and I want to get really high detail of stuff like that. Then I've just got a box of miscellaneous batteries, X-Acto knives, all my cleaning supplies. Here's my thermal printer with my extra tape, one of those plastic wrappy dealios. And then here's all my shipping boxes, kind of categorized by size. So on the top left is smaller boxes, on the top right is larger boxes. I've got all my little labels here. So here are my big 4" by 6" fragile do not drop stickers. I got my priority mail stickers, my little surprise and delight, thank you for supporting my small business stickers, and then of course my do not bend ones. Then to the right of that, I've got all the packing peanuts. Beneath that, in that box down there, right down there, is a bunch of styrofoam, which is really helpful when I'm shipping things in boxes. I don't need to use packing peanuts. Here's this guy that's filled with packing tape or bubble tape, bubble wrap, whatever the hell it's called. A bunch of those little airbags that Amazon sends you. Right here, I don't have room to put this anywhere, but this is all the vintage JB Cole pottery that I photographed recently, which I don't know if I've showed you yet, but that's that. And then for storage, I bought these 3 shelving units. Now, I promised myself that I wouldn't buy these until I'd made enough money on eBay to buy them. So they each were about $90. So anytime that I had $90 sitting in my PayPal, after fees, I would purchase one on Amazon. And I'm proud of myself. It took me like a month and a half to make, that $300 that I felt comfortable spending on these shelving units. So for the most part, they're pretty organized. I've split my auctions up into what makes the most sense for what I sell. So this top container is miscellaneous/sports. Up there is games. Now games literally has like video games or board games or card games in it. Trains is just a box that came with all the train sets in it that I'm selling. And then of course there's some random stuff shoved in here. This is a nice camera and it's an original leather box. These are some really collectible baskets. These are some shotgun refills. I forget what they're called. They're called wads. And those just don't fit in anything, so they're sitting there until they sell. I've got electronics 1 and electronics 2, and there's no real differentiating feature between them. It's just overflow, because I do pick up a lot of electronics and I sell a lot of electronics. And down here I've got toys, and then NOS means new old stock, so that would be anything that's in its original packaging from an older era. We've got stoneware, where I keep all my Hadley ware and all my anything made out of clay or porcelain. I keep that, and that's filled with packing peanuts. I used to have a lot of ink that I would sell, so this kind of is a misnomer label, but new in box would be new stock, so new things in the original box that aren't electronics. So anything that's new in box as an electronic will go in electronics. Anything else new in box will go there. And then down here I've got cameras. Now that's chock full of cameras, and I'm starting to think that selling cameras isn't the best, because they move pretty slowly in my experience. I picked this Brother fax machine up the other day at Goodwill out in Ferguson, so these go really fast, so this will probably be gone fairly soon, but I just wanted to get it off the floor. And move over to this one here, and up top we've got the K-Hall and Norwex. And K-Hall is that local company that sells nice candles and soaps and clothes, and Norwex is a company that you sell for them and you have people under you. I don't want to call it a pyramid scheme because that's not accurate, but the good version of that's what Norwex is. And we got books, we got a bunch of shoes. Here's those vintage magazines in this container here. And then of course, I haven't gone through and shown you guys all this yet, but here's the boxes of the craft supplies that I picked up in December, up in, where was it, here in Missouri? I can't remember the name of the city, but I drove up during that winter storm and picked up all these craft supplies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. And you can see they're labeled doll heads 1, doll heads 2. This box right here is filled with vintage thread, which I haven't photographed yet or put on anywhere. These paint and bake ornaments, these are Christmas ornaments that you literally paint and then you bake them in the oven and it solidifies the paint. And these are some overflows here. So that's what these guys are. And when I do my video where I'm showing you all the craft supplies, you'll get a better idea. But this is the mini form, you paint that in. This just happened to fit here. It's a Hello Kitty rice cooker. I got it at Goodwill for $6. I'm hoping to sell that for $50. And then we've got wicks, These are all vintage wicks from the 60s and 70s in the original packaging. A box of probably 600 paint and bake ornaments. A box of glitter, which I'm a little reticent about selling because it's bad for the environment, but I mean, if it weren't being sold to people, it'd be going in a dumpster. So it would go back, just go into a landfill. So either way, I'm not sure what the best route for that is, but I've got the box for $6 and I'm hoping to make a profit. And then I've got even more wicks in this box right down there in the middle. And then of course the rainbow thread. Now the rest of this is all just personal stuff, camping gear, things like that. There's a few auction items in here like that would just fit. There's my box of fishing lures, vintage fishing lures, and here's some rim decals that I got that I'm hoping sell pretty well. And then over here, I've just got my smaller light box that I use to shoot things like this fishing lures and smaller items. This light box is pretty bright, but it's not bright enough on smaller items. This box is the same brightness, but there's less surface area to cover with the light, so I can get a much brighter background if I'm shooting smaller items in there. And then I've got a container with personal electronic items, or sorry, this is actually tools, overflow tools. I'm waiting to get a big toolbox to put these in. This is electronic cables and stuff for me, like extension cords, USB cables, whatnot, so that's not getting sold. This is filled with tools, so it's got drill bits and nails and hanging supplies. This is the container that I put ready to ship items in that have been like packaged and ready to go. This is a Goodwill container. These are some items I'm recycling. And then down here is just some miscellaneous. And normally these trash and recycling containers are actually outside, but I've pulled them into the garage. Whenever I'm out here for an extended period of time, especially when I was organizing the garage, I had these guys in here all the time until it was trash day because I was filling these bins up with things. And then the shop vac. So I was reading on a bunch of online forums like how to keep your garage from getting dusty, especially if you have an old garage like mine. Like you can see, it's this old wooden garage. The walls over here are just concrete. They're not really sealed very well, so lots of dust and particulates come down. Oh, this is this antelope thing I got at auction or at an estate sale I'm planning on selling, but I like how it's adorning my shipping station. But this is a very dirty garage, and so rather than sweep it, everyone said to vacuum it. And I'm so glad I got the shop vac because it's come in so handy multiple times. It's a wet, dry vac, so when my basement floods, which it has been lately due to the heavy winter rain here in St. Louis, it tends to pool in my basement. Not like flood is a bit of an extreme word, but I get big pools of water down there, and instead of mopping them up, this guy sucks them up really quickly. So that is it. That's the tour of my garage. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It might be extremely boring, but I'm really pleased with the outcome. It took a lot of work, and I personally like to take things that are kind of chaotic and make them beautiful. My day job, I'm a designer, I'm an art director, and so that's what I do for a living is I take a bunch of data and I make it look pretty. And it's really fulfilling to take all of this kind of chaos and organize it so that it's a streamlined process. My goal is to move through when I'm working a full-time job that's really demanding, and then I come home and I want to spend time with my family and I want to hang out with my friends playing World of Warcraft or Destiny, a little time to just unwind and decompress. So that's the garage tour. I hope you guys like it. I'm really proud of it. I keep saying that, but it might change. I might change the design as time goes on. I'm worried that I'm going to run out of room, honestly, with all the stuff on this table. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put it all, but I know I'll make it fit. And I'm becoming more open to the idea of actually, if something doesn't sell for a few months, just sending it off to auction myself. And at least I wouldn't ever make my money back unless I bought it at like Goodwill, because the auction house takes a 30% cut. So I'm never really going to make what I bought it for, if that makes sense. Like if I bought that Betsy Wetsy behind me for $12 and I send it to auction and it sells for 12, they're going to take 3, I'm going to get 9. So, but at least I'm there. I'm partially there. So, but I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to think positively. Thank you for watching. Bye.